Hey guys, it's Dr. Sam Robbins. Now, a couple weeks ago, I made a video about loneliness. I know it's become really bad these days, just because of the internet, because of the phones, and more so for guys, I think, is we're not as social as women, and maybe that's one reason they live longer. But so anyhow, there's a lot of questions. I just wanted to reply back to some. So I'm gonna on my way to the gym, rather than read and drive and get in the car. So I'm just going to read it and then I'll reply back and go to the next one. This one says, he says, yes, I get lonely, special this past year. I'm at an age where all the girls in my age are out partying and enjoying life, while men like me are working and trying to make it a bit, only to get ghosted for no apparent reason. Makes you lie in bed at night just to think, quote unquote, what am I actually doing with myself right now? It sucks right now. So I will get to that question. He mentioned a few things. First of all, I don't know how old he said in his ages. It sounds like maybe he might be young. So all right. When I was growing up in my 20s, I was just kicking ass. All I did was go to school and work. And I started my own internet business in the mid 90s and 95, just right around the time Amazon started. And even though I went to school all those years, master's, bachelor's, medical school, all that stuff, some of it I just lived at home. The other times when I moved out on my own, when I finally had enough money, I was literally just going to school and then working anytime I had free time. And I didn't party. I didn't do all that stuff. And and yes, I felt alone because people were like, hey, come to the party and do all these things. And I just, I was just driven. All right. I didn't even like these days, I would never tell anybody to go to school, really, because AI and everything's going to change in the future. But back then, that was the thing. And my parents, go to school, doctor, attorney. But I felt alone all the time. But yet I didn't, because the things everyone wanted to do, I didn't really care. I was so driven about making money. This is one thing I want you guys to know, especially if you're younger. Focus on making a living, because when you get older, it's a lot harder. You're not as motivated. You're also not as smart. I used to be way better at comprehending information and things in my 20s than I am now in my 50s. I'm wiser, but not smarter as far as comprehension and the speed of my brain. But my whole point is that, yes, I felt alone, but then all the people around me who were having a good time and partying and all those things, all these years, they ended up nowhere. All the people who partied all the time are literally broke. And I kept in touch with so many of them. All the ones who sacrificed, right? Later on in life, they're the winners. So if you are feeling alone and you're young, and that's because you are kicking ass and you're trying to make money and trying to find your way in life, trust me, it is respectable. It's the only way you're going to get ahead in life. Because like I said, later on, it's going to get a lot harder and you might have some regrets. I'm not telling you just work and go to school all the time like I did. I have some regrets, but then again, I was enjoying what I was doing. I was so driven about making money and helping my family and just not being broke. It's painful when you can't take someone out. I remember going out to dinner, and it's this beautiful girl, man. I tried so hard to finally go out with her, and I did. And she was older than me. And when she ordered the food, she's like, well, what are you going to eat? I'm like, well, why don't you pick first? And she just went on and picked all this stuff. And I'm like calculating the numbers in my head. I'm like, oh, which one did you get? Oh, yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm like, what? $18? And then glass of wine and all that. I ended up getting like a bullshit garden salad. She's like, yo, you're not hungry? Is that all you're eating? I'm like, oh, I had a huge meal. I had to like count every penny and dollar just to go take her out. And I hated that feeling. So if you are feeling alone, because you're working hard nights and weekends, because you're going to school, whatever you're doing, you're driven towards your goal, it's okay. It will pay off, because I've seen it over and over and over again. I've got a buddy of mine who I've known for 30 years. This guy, good looking guy, bartender, all these things, and he gets laid all the time. He once said, Sammy, I must have had sex like at least 2,000 women, and I trust them, but he's broke, literally broke. And I've helped him out in so many things in life, and he's done nothing in life. He's accomplished nothing. He's done nothing. And you think in his mid-50s he's going to start? No. He had a good time, but the good time doesn't pay your bills. And later on in life, you're going to be really, really, really regretful of yourself, and it's going to kill your self-esteem. So I swear to you guys, if you are feeling lonely, just take care of you. Work on your health, exercise, all right? Look better as much as you can. Focus on money, educate yourself. You're not going to be alone, okay? Just don't think about, oh, I wish I had this. Focus on what you have and not what you don't have. So I hope that was helpful. Let's go on to the next question. And this one's a long one. Hopefully I won't crash. By the way, kids, don't read and drive and record a YouTube video like my dumbass is doing. The guy said, I can relate. I'm 46 years old. I've never been married. Most of my friends have moved away because of marriage, and they're busy with their wife and kids, or they just don't put in the time and effort anymore. And then we stop meeting up and so forth. And then he says, red light. My best friend, this is important part of the story. He says, my best friend is about 4 hours away by car. He has 2 kids, age 9 and 11. He's, has a wife who's got medical issues. Yet the guy takes the time on a weekly basis to call me. And we talk on average 30 minutes. The calls are almost always held while he's running errands for the family. That says a lot about how much he wants to stay connected and values the relationship. I think a lot of times it just comes down to effort. We really have to want it. And super awesome. That's so important. I have my best buddy, and I've known him for 30 to 35 years. I mean, I swear, it seems like right around the time I got on the internet. And I met him in some chat room about working out and shit like that. And 15 years went by before we ever even met, because he lives in another country. And we've met like maybe 2 or 3 times, maybe 3 times. He's one of the guys who I went to Panama with the stem cells. I love the guy. He's so awesome. He's married. But we literally email each other all the time, and I make the effort to call him at least once a week or every 2 weeks, and we'll talk for an hour. And it's just, he knows everything about my life, all my insecurities, all my quote unquote secrets and everything, and vice versa. We've gone through it all. He's had heart surgery, all these things. And the point is the effort. Nowadays you can obviously, do everything on your phone. You can do FaceTime, you can do Zoom and all that stuff. And by the way, I make all my calls like this guy said, while I'm running errands, or while I'm taking the dog for a walk, or I'm just doing some bullshit chores around the house. I'm putting in the effort, because I'm not the kind of guy who's ever going to sit on the couch or something and just talk to someone on the phone. I know women do that. I don't. I'm always doing something in the background, not like I'm writing something and talking to someone, but something that, multitasking, walking. I tell people all the time, go walk and talk. And it's good for your health. You get the body moving, good for your brain, and you're having a stimulating conversation, especially with someone you care. So it is about putting the effort, and us guys don't do it. Not women are so much better at putting an effort into relationships and wanting to go out. I'll go out with my girlfriend or something, and then she'll be like, oh, hey, da, 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 to some girls, like, oh my God, that's a beautiful dress. Oh, what's your phone number? We should totally go out. I'm like, what? Then I'll talk to some dude. I'm like, yeah, man, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, bro, take it easy. She's like, well, why don't you get his phone number and go out with the guy? I'm like, what? Like, why would a guy do that? Or, well, I don't want to seem gay, or something like stupid that guys think about. Or I'm like, well, we just talk. What more is there? And it's not in our DNA, or maybe the way we're brought up is to constantly like meet someone, a guy, and then you just say, hey, bro, let's get together or something like that. The only time we seem to get phone numbers is when we want to go out with a chick and get laid. So put in the effort. You got friends. Don't lose friends. By the way, if there's a friend that you haven't spoken to in a while, just hit him up with a text. You don't have to go say, hey, Joe, I was just thinking about you, about that one time when we were blah, 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 and it made me smile. And then at the same time, I was a little bit sad that I haven't reached out to you. Don't blame the other guy. I haven't reached out to you in all this time, and I miss you. And anyhow, just wanted to see how you're doing, bro. Hope you're well. Maybe I can speak to you soon. And trust me, that guy's going to be like, oh shit, dude, that's so fucking cool. And he's going to like it. And if he doesn't, who cares? At least you said something that got, that connected with someone. And most of the time, guys are busy with their lives and their family and kids. And by the way, I totally understand this guy. As about, friends losing over time because of other effort, family and kids. And, if you have the time, put it in. Weekends, anytime, even a simple text. You don't always have to get on the phone. Just letting people know you're thinking about them and how they're doing. And, that's all I can say about that. So put in the effort, and it's never too late, and it doesn't require hours of effort. He said just like 30 minutes here and there. And sometimes I'll just talk to my buddy. I'm like, hey, bro, I got 20 minutes. I'm on my way to the gym. Just wanted to see how it's going on. Or, hey, whatever happened to that thing with your girl, or whatever happened at work, related thing, and just catch up. We all need it, and we think about doing it. But for some reason, a lot of times we don't take action on the things we know we need to do and should do. And that's not only just for relationships, that's for your health. And that seems to be with everything in life. All right. Next question. Hey, doc. He says, most relationships fail. And divorce is expensive. A lot of men just want peace. I was watching Facebook, and there's this meme or whatever, cartoon character, I don't know what you guys call it these days. On the left-hand side, the girl's like yelling at the guy and do this, and why didn't you do that, and blah, 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 blah. And then the guy is like fantasizing and just says peace on an island. And guys don't like drama. Women do. And the only drama we like is when we're playing, like, I guess, video games or watching a sporting event or something like that. But generally speaking, guys don't create drama with each other. And if some dude does, the guy's like, bro, chill out, man. What's your problem? And we put him in place. Women love drama. And I think that's one reason relationships are hard. And a lot of us guys do feel alone. But sometimes you think, I always tell people relationships, someone is either adding to your stress or taking away. And that's everything in life. They're either adding to the stress or taking it away. If you're starting a business like I did, it was good. Then over time, some things became stressful. So I hired someone, and that person reduced my stress. And that was beneficial. Other times that employee was not good, and now they're adding to my stress, and they needed to be let go. So that's all life is. And maybe what you need to do is, if you are feeling alone, is sometimes just find people that are good for you and focus just on them. You don't need too many friends, guys. I got like one or two awesome best friends, and like some casual other friends that I talk to once in a while. In fact, I remember this quote that I wrote, and it's from Robin Williams, and he said, I used to think the worst thing in life was to end up alone. It's not. The worst thing in life is to end up with people who make you feel alone. That's important. And there's been times that I've gone to parties or events or have been in a relationship and I feel totally alone. And it's so odd. And then there's times where I'm just like with one person and I feel like everything is so awesome. So I'm just blathering away. But by the way, it feels lonely just talking to you or to myself right now. That's how odd it is. I know younger people do it all the time, especially women, but it's difficult for guys. But define loneliness a little bit differently. Okay, just because you're not around people doesn't mean you're necessarily alone. And if you do feel alone, just reach out to someone. All right. Or maybe just get out of the house. Like, I could have gone to another gym right now that's right next to my house. That's literally like 3-minute walking, and it's got everything. And there's probably no one even there. And sometimes I like that, right? It's just peace. I get out, get in, and do that. But right now I'm driving to Gold's. It's like a 20-minute drive each way. But then I run into some people, and that helps. That makes my day better. And I don't talk to everyone there. Maybe 10 minutes here and 5 minutes there, and then a couple highs and hellos and all that, and then I go home. So you can put in the effort. Sometimes just running errands, say hi to people. But being indoors, behind the computer, behind your phone all the time, that makes you lonely. And you know what? They say body in motion stays in motion. That's the other thing you keep in mind. I remember because I'm naturally introverted. And even though people are like, dude, you're so outgoing, you talk to everyone, you're so nice. And I am, but after a little while, I get totally drained. And I need to go back and like, I don't know, fill up again by myself. But just talking to people is good. Talk to anybody, it's good. Sometimes getting an animal, a pet. Anyhow, I'm blathering away again. Sorry. And here's another one. The guy says, I've been divorced for 2 months. It's different and it's difficult. I haven't done guy stuff in years and it's still all new to me. Guys, dude, I see so many people making this big mistake when they get into relationships. And it's a woman thing. I see chicks doing it all the time. They make the guy want to be everything to them. It's got to be the boyfriend, got to be the best friend, it's got to be the financial guy, the emotional guy. It's like a woman wants the guy to be everything to her. And that's just a lot of pressure on a guy. You know, she should have girlfriends. She should have this. And in the process, women end up making you everything. And then they say, why are you going out with this guy? How come you're going out with your friends? Because they disconnect. Every girlfriend I've ever had, she's just like gotten rid of all her friends after a while. I'm like, why can't you have me in your life and them? And then she'd like hassle me about, why am I going here? Why am I going there? Why am I doing this? And little by little, just to keep the peace, I'm like, oh, okay. And then I would lose friends. And I stopped doing that years and years ago. So work at maintaining your friendships, guys. Some of my best memories are always like just hanging out with the guys. So maintain that, put in the effort. If it's been a while, reach out to some dude, text, whatever it is. Doesn't have to be this whole big thing. Just ask them how they're doing. And if you are recently divorced, recently got out of a relationship, just get out there. You don't have to, I'm not saying get out there and start dating again. Just get out there and improve your life. Improve your health, get out running, join a club, go to the gym. If you kick ass with your body, you're going to feel so much better and you're not going to feel alone. So anyhow, I hope this was helpful. I apologize if some parts of it I ranted. Sometimes these are live. I mean, I'm just going off the cuff. I would much rather interact with you guys. The discussions, that's where I get off on it. So maybe if you guys have an idea about something we can do like that, might be easier. I'm not super tech savvy, even though I've been on the internet since 95. Anyhow, thanks for listening. I hope you don't feel alone or lonely. You're not alone. You always have someone. And if you do feel alone, just go out and reach to someone because I guarantee they might feel alone too. And sometimes just the hi. Anyhow, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Wishing you a very happy and awesome and healthy day.